Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jason West, and I'm so excited to introduce my guest. This is my friend Lynn, and we're going to be talking about so many different fun things to do with arthritis. Now, arthritis is inflammation of the joint, and it affects so many different people, and there's over 100 different kinds of arthritis. And in a minute, we're going to talk about Lynn. We're going to actually show you a little video about natural treatment solutions for a rusty joint. And it's just one of my favorite things to talk about. And when people start thinking about arthritis, it's not always, elbow arthritis. For Lynn's instance, it's going to be about his shoulder, but back pain is arthritis. Rotator cuff is arthritis. Lateral epicondylitis or tennis elbow is arthritis. And so we're going to walk you through basically what happens. And it's what we do every Thursday night. And this is what I'm excited to tell people about. You can see all of our information on our website right here, West Clinic Online, and also on our YouTube channel. And so without further, introductions and stuff, I'm excited to introduce a real life patient just like you. And so many times people will say to me, yeah, but can you fix this condition or can you fix that condition? And it's so fun to give people some hope by having a normal person come in and start talking. And so, Lynn, why don't you tell everybody what brought us together in this regard? So what was happening with your shoulder?
So first of all, normal is a stretch. Having said that, one day, Dr. J called me and said, hey, let's go snowmobiling. And I responded, I'd love to, but my shoulder's not going to let me do it. I actually need to get surgery. And he's like, well, wait a minute. You've never told me anything about what's going on with your shoulder. And I told him I literally had a tear in the rotator cuff, also in the bicep tendon right there. And that I was actually scheduling myself for surgery, had an MRI, showed the tears, etc., ready to go in for surgery. And he said, he actually responded, what am I, chopped liver? I had no clue that that's what Jason did. I knew he did a lot of things, performed a lot of miracles. I had no idea that he could literally fix the shoulder the way it was. And when I say fix, I couldn't turn my palm up or even my thumb up and pick my hand at the equivalent level.
It's this level.
So like that. There was I couldn't do that to save my life. I couldn't pick the weight up in my own arm. I could turn it over and get it about this high, but now I can pick it up. I can do anything I want with it.
Well, and was there original injury? Like, how did you get into that state? Like, what happened?
Two things. One, I'm a karate sensei, and I have to fight a lot of high school kids. They kick my butt almost every weekend. In addition to that, I was chopping down some trees, and I had a tree go to fall on me. I tried to catch it, and literally just tore my shoulder out. I suffered with it for a long time, and then finally decided, you know what, I got to find time to go get it fixed. But there's no good time. There's no season to actually get a shoulder fixed.
And it doesn't matter if it's surgery or a birthday party or a trip. I mean, there's never a good time. So, but medically, they said, you got to go get this. You have to operate it.
No question. I actually had it scheduled out in Ohio. And when I moved back here to Idaho, had another MRI, had a surgery scheduled when I talked to Jason. And he said, come in. He said, let me do a couple of procedures on you. And that was how long ago? That's 4 years ago now?
Well, it's been years for sure. But before we jump into what we did at the office, I just wanted to review. You heard it, basically doing your dad thing and doing a karate. You heard it, and it was difficult. You couldn't lift it above 90 degrees,
for sure.
And you couldn't move around. Was there treatment interventions that you did? Like, did you do physical therapy or acupuncture or chiropractic or massage therapy? I mean, did you do anything for your shoulder?
I did. We did some physical therapy up there at the hospital, trying to make it right, and just couldn't make it comfortable. I ride snow machines. Dr. J and I ride motorcycles together. We do a lot of playing, and I just couldn't get my shoulder back to the point that I needed it to in order to live the kind of lifestyle I wanted to live. So I decided surgery is my last option. It's my only option. I'm going to get it done, and I'm just going to suck it up and do it.
And with that, so you have surgery, being told what to do, but as far as you can't lift it, could you sleep on that side? Can you hug your spouse? Can you get in and out of a car? I mean, what some of the other limitations?
Yeah, I couldn't put a seatbelt on. It sounds a little crude. I couldn't wipe myself. And then sleeping, I had to literally sleep on my back or my left shoulder at all times.
Okay. Yeah. So then you do the workup and the MRI, like I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I don't think it was a complete tear. Wasn't it a partial tear?
It was a partial tear. Yeah.
Okay. So a partial tear, but we have limited range of motion. You're planning to do surgery. You're just trying to figure out what is the right time. And then I said, hey, come in. Let me just try. Let me see what I can do.
Right.
to help and walk people through what happened. Like we brought you in and I told you we were going to do what?
He said he was going to stick a needle in my shoulder. I'm not horrible with needles, not horrible with pain at all, but stick a needle in my shoulder, and he called it muscle welding.
Yeah, body welding.
Body welding. And for me, I weld and whatnot, so it kind of made a little bit of little sense to me. He says he sticks a needle in there and he literally scratches the tendons with the needle by injecting this prolozone or this vitamin treatment.
Yeah, so vitamin solution first, and I'm going to show everybody in a video in just a second. But we put in the vitamin solution, and man, he's making it sound like I'm getting some type of enjoyment or something about pushing.
Oh, he did. He got the enjoyment.
I was just trying to get it right into the intertubercular.
Trust me,
group.
he got the enjoyment when I was squirming it.
Okay, so and then the sensations, the feel, like obviously there's discomfort there when we're doing that, but do you feel fullness? Do you feel pressure? What do you feel?
Well, at the time, I actually felt kind of a weird, almost like a sugar high, and had to lay down. It was that intense shock of vitamins to the system. Had to lay down for a little bit, but yeah, certainly I can feel the pain. It didn't hurt. I don't want to give people the wrong impression. You could feel it just like any other shot, but I like to tease Dr. J about it, that he used it to torture me.
And by the way, everyone, why he had to lay down is because when you reset the nerve, so there's a nerve memory involved here where he's been hurt for so long, his mind is telling him he wants to live up here, and his body is right here, and the body kind of accepts that as normal. It accepts being hurt as normal. And when you go and you do this therapy and you turn the circuit breakers off and you turn the circuit breakers on, you have that reboot thing, and people are like, man, I just got to lay down for a minute.
Right.
So we do the procedure. You have an appropriate time to recover, and you go home, and what happens?
Within days, literally, I felt like I could start to use my shoulder again. I think we did 3 total treatments, and within 3 treatments, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks later, I was riding my dirt bike again. I was riding my snow machine. I was riding my horse. I could literally go out and work in the shop again. I could feel like I was on the road to recovery, but to be honest with you, I was still skeptical. I was thinking, hey, there's no way this is going to repair it. This is a great stopgap measure until I actually need the surgery. And here we are. I need to go back and see, but it's been years. I've been able to avoid that surgery and live an extremely active lifestyle, swinging hammers and riding bikes and dirt bikes and horses, et cetera, and I have no problem anymore.
So you guys, I put together a little video, and also for people who are watching, I'm so excited that you can actually, I put all this together in a report. So here's what the report is. It is a free ebook that we have on arthritis and the different types and stuff of arthritis that's available. But I put together a little video that I wanted to share with you, and it's right here. So I wanted to check this out. It's a couple minutes. It walks exactly through the prolozone process. It's right here. So let me show you.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Jason West with some ideas about arthritis, about bone-on-bone arthritis, chronic knee injuries, chronic hip problems, back problems. It's this wonderful therapy called prolozone therapy, and here's how I was introduced to it. I had a patient that was coming in the office that was getting adjusted consistently, but the adjustments just really didn't hold. And he went and saw a doctor in Nevada that did a prolozone treatment on him. It helped to stabilize the ligaments so that the adjustment hold. And he told me about it. I went and learned from this doctor about how to do this amazing therapy that helps with arthritis. Now, most of the time when people have arthritis, it's really like they have a rusty hinge. The joints don't move very well. You get chronic inflammation into the joint. It hurts to do activities of normal daily living. It can be inflamed, it can be hot, it can fill up with fluid. I mean, all of these things are associated when there's not enough space in between the joint surfaces. Now, typically the medical treatment for that is they do a series of cortisone therapy, or eventually you may end up with some type of surgery, a hip or a knee replacement. And this isn't an anti-medicine video, but there's so many things that you can do before you have to get surgery. Now, one of the most common things medically they do is some type of cortisone injection or maybe a Synvisc type injection. And I like to tell people, I'm kind of joking and kind of serious when I say this. If you're driving down the road and you look down in your car dashboard and you see the oil light come on, you know something that is going wrong with the car. And the medical community gives you a piece of black electrician's tape, you put it over the oil light, and voila, you have no more oil light problems. Common sense tells us that we're going to end up with a major overhaul if we don't fix the problem. And this prolozone therapy is a fantastic way to fix it before you need a great big overhaul. Now, what is prolozone therapy? It's a proliferative therapy using vitamins and minerals and some oxidative medicine that actually make the tissues heal. So it's actually a semi-permanent restorative type therapy. So here's how you do the therapy. You take a little syringe with a little tiny needle on it, and you can actually take a vitamin solution and inject the joint surfaces, inject the ligaments, and inject the muscles around the area. Put in the building blocks, and you tap into the body's restorative medicine abilities. Now, when I talk about restorative medicine, if you bump up against something and you get a bruise or you cut yourself, the body sends the immune system and the healing cells to that area to heal up the problem. Now, the same thing happens when you get a new stomach every 10 days, you get a new liver about every 3 months, you get a new bone system about every 6 months, and proliferative therapy using oxidative medicine, the prolozone therapy, just taps into your body's ability to heal itself. It's a little bit different than taking an oral supplement like glucosamine or chondroitin or papaya or bromelain or any of these natural over-the-counter medicines or therapies for joint pain, because this actually puts more of the building blocks directly in the area. I think it works a lot better. Now, I haven't had any problems with contraindications. I love using this natural approach because the worst thing that usually happens with people is that they stay the same. You can't make people worse. There's no side effects. It's not like putting cortisone therapy where you can't do as many treatments as it possibly needs because it knocks down the inflammatory systems and it actually can damage the bones and the ligaments. I've had people where we've been able to do this repeated times over the last 10, 12 years, and we don't have any problems because we're just putting natural things into the area. Some really, really neat outcomes of people that can't walk upstairs, they can't throw a baseball, they can't golf, they can't fish, they can't garden, and we do this restorative therapy and they get their life back. Now, what's really neat about this is it's really cost effective. Usually the treatments are anywhere from $150 to $300, and so if you're looking for a healthcare provider that's doing this, that's usually the price structure that you're looking at. You're looking at about 3 to 5 different treatments, and then usually you have to do a follow-up treatment about every 12 to 24 months. So it's a really neat long-term solution where you don't have to use drugs or you don't have to use surgery for your arthritic conditions.
Whoops, I was muted. Sorry about that. You guys, what I was trying to pick up on was I'm so excited to show you a survivor, a real life person that was in the trenches, that was suffering from basically some tendons that had been irritated and basically had started to fray. It was limited the range of motion. And when you go in, you do that body welding procedure where you're putting in the vitamins, you're putting in the oxidative medicine. Now the body can tap into its healing process. And then these are the outcomes that we get. So, Lynn, after you've seen the video, is there any thoughts that come to mind? If anybody's out there watching this, anything that you would like them to know?
Again, I'm not anti-medicine either. However, I tell you what, give this a shot. It worked for me. I know everybody's body's different, but I was at my wit's end. I live an active lifestyle. I wanted to be able to use my shoulder. Had to quit golfing for quite some time because I just couldn't swing it. And it was a football coach at the time too, trying to throw a ball, and it made it way uncomfortable. So before you try surgery, try this. Give it a shot. It worked for me. And I think I had a fairly decent, a fairly serious condition that it worked for me. Give it a shot.
So you guys, we try to get to real life people every Thursday at 5 o'clock to tell about a healthcare condition. I was excited that Lynn was able to come and coordinate the schedules. You're not your diagnosis. There's a person in there. And for anybody interested, you can get more information up on our website or inside of the comments, either on YouTube or Facebook. If you'll just do #arthritis, I have a free ebook ready to go that you can take a look at, and it can make a huge difference in your life. And the worst thing that will happen is you can stay the same, but I fix and I help. And our team is so helpful on so many different conditions. And it's not fair to say that we help everybody. I mean, there's some people the joint's too far gone or the tendon's completely severed, but I'm always somewhat surprised when it doesn't work. So that's our patient success story this week. Appreciate so much everybody tuning in. It's every Thursday night at 5 o'clock. This time we're talking about rotator cuff. A big shout out to my guest, Lynn. If you want more information, it's at westcliniconline.com. I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day, and we'll see you guys next week. See you later.